Greetings and welcome back to 𝕙𝕠𝕡𝕪 studio here in Leitrim's Iron Mountains. If you're new here, my name is Harriet and I am a visual artist based in Ireland's northwest. Today's video is another bookbinding tutorial and an art collaboration with a fellow YouTuber, my friend Karol from her channel Karol's Art Oasis. Karol is a Dublin-based artist whose work is inspired by an exploration of the natural world and spirituality. Over at her channel, she makes videos about her holistic approach to art and life. As a holistic artist, Karol's videos invite us to contemplate what practices can help nourish our creative lives. By connecting our creative expression and ability intentionally to our spiritual practices as well as to our body. In addition to being an artist, Karol is a trained yoga instructor with a background in fashion design. She has an innate understanding of art as mindfulness that she shares with us through her soft-paced videos that give us a glimpse into her lifestyle as a holistic artist, teaching us creativity as a natural way to practice mindfulness, a way to express ourselves beyond words, encouraging us to be present in each moment and notice the sensations and experiences as these activities ease us into a process of focus, concentration and flow, which is the same process we experience when we're meditating. Karol's artworks combine pattern motifs and abstractions from the natural world in compositions that invoke a sense of wonder of our connection to the divine. I'm very excited about doing this collaboration with her. This is going to be a 4-part series, 2 videos from me and 2 videos from Karol. So after the video, please do follow the link below to see Karol's first part of the collaboration. For this collab, we are sending each other a handmade mini art journal to work in and artistically respond to. I love collaborations like this as the art becomes a visual dialogue between 2 artists. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this beautiful journal to send to Karol. So starting out, I cut out 3 pieces of chipboard. This book's pages are going to be A6 in size, so I measured a few millimeters bigger than that to the front and back covers and made a separate piece for the spine. I'm putting 2 holes first into the spine with my lever punch, so I can thread a single ribbon through to hold the pages. I found this beautiful vintage style brown and ivory floral fabric and a beautiful thick brown velvety velour fabric which I'm going to use on the spine. As in my other bookbinding videos, I'm not going to be using any glue. Instead, I have used carpet tape to cover my chipboard and stick down any fabric, wrapping and securing it around the edges. Using tape instead of glue prevents any glue seeping into the fabric and losing its soft tactile quality. Here I'm adding some more tape to attach the cover piece to the spine fabric and again to the inside to wrap and tuck the spine fabric tightly onto the inside of the book, which does look a little bit messy right now, but will be hidden beneath our inside cover paper, which is a piece of 300 GSM Fabriano watercolor paper that I have already cut here to size with a little extra length to create a pocket on the inside of the book. I'm just measuring it here so I can mark and lightly score my fold lines with my metal ruler and my craft knife. Now I have the folds all marked out and scored, I'm going to again cover my watercolor paper with more carpet tape to attach it to the inside of my cover. Turning the paper over makes it very easy to cut off any excess tape close to the edge of this thick watercolor paper. Here I'm just cutting a little piece of cover fabric to decorate the inside pocket. Before I stick this cover piece down, I also cut off the corners of the inner fabric folds to minimize any excess bulkiness that would be visible on the inside cover paper. I want to keep the book cover as flat as I can. I'm just sticking that into place here and making sure that the crease for the spine are in the right place. Taking the fabric I have put on my pocket around the edge of the card here, I'm just putting a little bit of extra double-sided tape on the inside of the pocket to secure it in place, and again at the top. Using my craft knife and metal ruler, I trimmed the pocket with the fabric attached to a more balanced size. There's a bit of excess exposed tape here, which will obstruct the pocket, so I want to cover that up. I'm just doing that with a little bit of thin printer paper, sticking it on and quickly cutting around it. To close the two sides of the pocket now, I'm going to use two thin pieces of double-sided tape. If you don't have a thin tape like this, you can use your craft knife to cut a thin strip off the double-sided carpet tape. Now the book is covered, I need to repeat the hole back into the spine. As you might remember, I had already punched the holes into the inside part of the chipboard support, and that's going to make it much easier to punch out the hole now with the lever punch. I want to punch through that velveteen fabric and also through the inside cover paper. I'm going to use eyelets to seal up these holes, and this will help when I put the binding ribbon in. I'm just using corsetry eyelets and a little eyelet punch here. I'm poking these little brass pieces through the hole in the cardboard and then clamping them down with the eyelet punch. Here you can see these little brass rings are clipped into place, strongly reinforcing the holes. I've got this beautiful pastel pale mint green cotton lace, and this is one of my favourite colours. I just think it looks lovely with the chocolate brown and the cream colourway of this journal, and it has the tape already attached to the back, so it makes it very easy for adding onto the book. Sticking this down to those raw edges of the brown velour spine fabric and trimming the excess off. Which I'm just going to be tucking that last little piece behind my cover paper, using the edge of my metal ruler to push it neatly behind the cover paper. For the side of the book with the pocket, I cut one long piece that wrapped along the edge of the spine fabric and right onto the edge of the inside of the pocket opening. pushing the sides down here to reinforce the folds around the spine. And here is the beginning of Karol's journal. I'm very pleased how it's coming out so far. And with the cover done, the inside cover paper on, and that darling little pocket on the inside, I found a perfect piece of shimmery organza ribbon with a little bit of a satin edging that matches perfectly. So I'm going to use this for the binding. I think the bow looks really pretty on the spine. The next part is the pages. I've already cut out a bunch of different types of paper to the right size. I've chosen a variety of paper based on the colouring of the book, but also just paper I thought would be interesting to make some art on. This burgundy red and some bits of forest green, some tone tan paper and some black. Folding all of the pages individually in half. I have also made a 3-page pull-out spread for the middle section of the book. When I have them all folded, I'm just tying them as tight as I can into the book with the ribbon. Next, I'm going to do a little bit of detailing on the inside cover. I recently got this lovely musical score ink stamp with a vintage style sheet music on it, which I think is really pretty. I've masked out a tiny portion of the stamp with a small rectangle so I could include a little bit of writing in there. I just wrote "Every end is a new beginning" because this will be the end of the book. The book is popping open a bit, so I want to remedy that. So I decided I'm going to add a fastener onto it. Using this little green pearlescent plastic button and an old-fashioned elastic paper fastener. So I've just stitched that green button right through the book. I used strong thread and a thimble to push the needle carefully through the thick cover and then tied it in a double knot on the back. On the back cover, I used an eyelet hole again, just like I did with the spine, to thread the elastic paper fastener through, and then on the inside I used more of the cotton lace trim to hide and fix into place the 2 metal bars on each end of the elastic fastener. With my cover finished, my attention went to the inner pages of the journal. I wanted to give the book a scrapbook junk journal kind of feel, so I'm doing some simple frame collages in a classic kind of scrapbook style. I don't want to make it too overly finished. I want to leave a lot of blank pages in here. I'm mainly focusing on creating little kind of frames and windows to maybe put art on, or a piece of writing, or whatever Karol feels she wants to do with them. I've included some dotted bullet journal paper there as well. I do want to add a little bit of art, so I thought I'd put a character on this spread, and maybe Karol might want to paint a background for it, or maybe a pattern behind her. So I just put a little character here, and I really feel she epitomizes the aesthetic I had in my mind of this book. With the vintage rustic floral cover, it felt very country, similar to that of Holly Hobbie or The Art of Sarah Kay, with little aprons or Alice in Wonderland. For me, a childhood nostalgic feeling. This kind of aesthetic really appeals to me and speaks to my inner child in that way. I used alcohol markers and white Faber-Castell Pitt pen, which contains Indian ink. The alcohol markers did come through the back of the page, so I covered the back part with some more scrapbooking paper. On this black page, I did a little sketch with white gel pen. This is just all very intuitive stuff, just little doodles without any references. It's just one of my little characters. This one I felt reminded me of the puka, who is a shape-shifting little goat creature in Irish folklore that comes out when the blackberries start to rot at the end of the summer, when the evenings start to get darker. This page was a kind of nighttime twilight feeling for me. I used my metallic mica-based watercolours for this. These are by Karol. I never painted with these before on black paper, so this was interesting. I haven't done a lot with metallic paint, so I'm quite excited to play with it still. On the black paper, it came out very unusual. The white blue came out very blue, and it had an iridescence that seemed to vanish altogether on the black when you hold it to the light in different directions, which I really love about it. On the fold out 3-page spread that I have for the middle of the book, I added a sky-like watery wash with some interesting dispersions. Aside from the wash, I left that quite blank so Karol could add to it. Then I experimented with the music note ink stamp and painted onto it with some gold watercolour to see if it would print. It was not perfectly clear, but it did leave some intrigue on the page, so I left that in. This is another little doodle I did on a collage made from torn dictionary pages. I included a few more dictionary pages so Karol can add to these little pieces or take the page as an inspirational prompt to create her own little piece of dictionary art. On the back of the central 3-page spread, I did do on one side another little character in purples and blues. She's quite space girl looking. I used alcohol markers and pens for this one. I found these sweet little flock velvety music note stickers and added a little bit of tactile intrigue. So here is the finished book, and I'm just going to do a little flip through now. This is the front page with the hinged frame, the spread with the little nostalgic character, a green frame, my little puka piece with a blank black page opposite to extend it onwards, the gold watercolour music note page, a dotted page maybe for some writing or a chart, a blank burgundy double page spread, another piece of dotted paper with decorative corners, a dictionary sheet, a sheet of 𝕙𝕠𝕡 paper, which is a synthetic paper made from a type of resin. It's transparent and can be used with a combination of media including watercolors and acrylic. Then the center 3-page spread with the watery cloud-like wash. And that's the other side of the 𝕙𝕠𝕡 paper and the dictionary page. And this is handmade green paper and this little frame. The other side of the gold background, the little collage which can be added to, some more black paper and some tone tan paper at the end of the book. Putting this aside, I wanted to include a little bit of ephemera along with the journal, matching ephemera, various pieces of different paper. There's some extra bits of bullet journal paper, some note paper, a little white heart doily, and a little scrap piece I used to mask off the music note stamp on the back cover. That's actually a little piece of brown sticker paper, a little piece of green batik paper, another piece of watercolor paper with punched corners, I popped all of these into a small plastic pocket here, about the same size as a postcard, and I included a little offcut of the fabric from the front of the book. There are some washi tape botanical stickers, some little strips of ribbon and lace that have thin double-sided tape on the back, these sweet mushroom stickers because I feel like they really go with the country aesthetic. I've also included some cute barista themed stickers. There are some coffee cups and a coffee pot, some coffee plants and beans. There is also a tiny pink bow. I see all of these little things as visual prompts that could help inspire Karol into her visual dialogue with the aesthetics of this little journal. So I'm really intrigued to see what she makes of it all. At this point, I have also received Karol's darling miniature journal, which I have filmed an unboxing to, which I'm going to share at the beginning of my next video, part 2 of this collaboration, where you will see what I make in Karol's creation. But for now, please do visit Karol's beautiful channel and watch her first part of our collab to see the beautiful journal that she sent me, along with her detailed process. I want to say a huge thank you to Karol for sending me a little journal to work with and for doing this collaboration with me. So we have come to the end of my video now, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Do have an inspiring week, and I hope to see you all again soon for another video. Bye bye!